welcome to another video. And if you haven't joined me before on a video, I'm a 57-year-old New Zealander. My name's Mark, and I set myself the challenge of running a minimum of 5 kilometers every day for 365 days, and today was day 19. And I say was because I've done it. And today I ran 8 kilometers and I felt pretty good. I've had 2 bad days where my legs have been really tired, my mind hasn't been in the game, but today I bounced back, and for the first 6 or 7 Ks it was pretty good. So yeah, great day. I hope you're doing well, no matter where you are in the world. It's tough times for a lot of people these days, and we should always remember that empathy for others is a great thing. So yeah, just hope you're doing well wherever you are. Okay, so today, run alone. Yeah, that's the title of this video, and the reason I wanted to talk about that was I had a lot of experience over the years of running alone and to reap all the benefits from that. And I think if you're training for a race, and you might be someone that's just starting off, or you might be somebody who's been running for a long time, I think training alone can bring you many benefits, and I'm going to go through some of those now. So first of all, let's start with the obvious one. When you're running alone, you're training your mental strength because you've got no one to talk to, you've got no one to support you, you're not pacing off anybody, you're doing it all on your own, and that builds mental strength. So you get used to being able to talk yourself through difficult parts of your run. When you're feeling down, you can tap into your training that you've done by yourself and not get distracted by things that are going on around you. Running a race is very different than training. And there's a lot of distractions during a race, and unless you've trained your mind, you might find that very difficult to cope with. For example, when you're doing a run, let's say you're doing a local park fun run, and it's a mass start, everybody's there together, you've got people all around you. You might have some people that start off in front of you who are slower, so they get in your way, you've got to go around them. That gets you frustrated. We've all had that situation. You've got people coming up from behind you who might be a bit faster, and they're pushing their way through. That's also a distraction. You can't see the ground in front of you as easy when there's a lot of people around, so you might actually go over on your ankle or have a bit of a trip. So lots of distractions going on at the start of a race. So if you train your mind to be calm and patient by training alone, then it's going to help you overcome a lot of these situations. So mental strength is one of them. The second one is strategy. And you know, I think running is a lot like a Formula 1 race, and I'll talk about that tomorrow actually in another video. But strategy around running alone is when you're out there training alone, you get to know certain points where your body starts to change, and every run you do, you're losing weight, you're losing water, you're losing calories, you're burning calories, and there's a strategy around how you keep your pace going for a long period of time, even if you're doing a 5K run. So most people on a 5K run, they won't need to top up with water, although if it's available on the race course, take it. It's always good to throw a bit of water over you or drink a bit of water. But strategy around training alone can be developed by practicing all sorts of different techniques. So this is what I like to do. I like to treat every training run as a different type of run. Instead of just getting out there and doing the same old course and the same old laps and the same old time, you can teach yourself to go a little bit faster in the beginning and then back off, or start off a bit slower and then pick up your pace. Try all these things when you're running alone, and these can really help you from a strategic point of view in a race. And not even if you're somebody that's not even racing, it's a good thing to do because you're practicing these things and it can help you in your runs. Whereas if you had somebody with you and you were trying to do that, your pace is always different. You know, everybody is different. The biomechanics of running and everybody is different. So no one's going to run exactly like you. No one's going to get tired when you get tired. No one's going to be able to pick up the pace like you can when you can. So Another benefit of running alone is to practice different strategies on running as well. The other thing is, when we go out running with somebody, we typically say, okay, let's go and do 5k or 10k or 15k today. And there's a degree of inflexibility there, because you get to that distance and say, okay, we've done what we said we were going to do. But when you run by yourself, you can run to how you feel, and if you feel like going a little bit further, you can. If you feel like stopping earlier, you can. You don't have that peer pressure that you get by running with other people, and I find that to be quite a nuisance sometimes. So I just like to go out there and get into my own free will. And talking of that, that's the next benefit I think of running alone, is it's almost like a meditation process. And you've heard of athletes talking about when they get into the flow. And running alone for me is something where I get in the flow and I almost get into a meditative state. So it's very peaceful. I don't have music in my ears. I run, I look at the nature around me, I listen to my breathing, I feel my breathing, so everything's becoming very connected, and I find that that makes the run far more rewarding, to have practice that mindfulness while you're actually moving your body, and to feel your body moving. Everything like how your feet are hitting the ground and how that feels through your body, how it makes your knees feel. The sweat dripping off your head is also another process that can become quite transformative. So there's a lot of other little pleasures that you can get out of running alone and being aware and awake to these situations while you're doing it, which you typically wouldn't do if you're running with other people. So that's another thing, the meditative state of running when you're running alone, just the beauty of it. And then another one is the actual course that you run. Not everyone likes running hills. Not everyone likes running around a track. Not everyone likes running cross country. But when you're alone, you can make these decisions and go for it. Whereas typically when you're with other people, you've got to go with the general consensus, which may be, oh, let's do a track workout today and run 50 laps around a track. Some people might find that extremely boring. I like to alternate my runs. I like to do a little bit of nature and a bit on the road and a bit on the track. And but I like to do that when I want to do that, and that's part of choice that you get when you're running alone. So another thing, another reason, choosing your own terrain that you want to run over when you want to run over. I think that's a really good thing. But the biggest lesson I learned from running alone for many years was a number of years ago I did an Ironman triathlon, and I'd been training for that race for about 6 months before the actual race day, and 2 weeks before the race day I fractured a bone in my left foot, and I was devastated. I went and saw a doctor, and he said, yeah, there's no way that you can do an Ironman triathlon, you have to quit and do another one and blah blah blah. And I got really depressed. But I woke up the next morning, I said, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I've been doing all this training alone. I've got myself in such a mental state that I believed that I could overcome the pain of doing an Ironman triathlon with a broken bone in my foot. So I went and got a cast put on the foot, and I got a moon boot put on, and for the 2 weeks leading up to the race I just practiced walking around and getting used to the moon boot and the cast and everything. And then came race day, and I took the cast off for the swim of the triathlon, and my support crew looked after that. And then when I came into T1, transition 1, we put the cast back on and the moon boot, and I rode the 180 kilometer cycle part of the Ironman with one leg, and it was incredibly hard, but I did it. And then I got off and I had to face run a marathon with this moon boot on. And it was excruciating, difficult, and in fact the officials from the race, they wanted to pull me out of the race. They tried to get me to stop. They told me they were going to disqualify me and my time would not be recognized. I didn't worry about that. I wasn't doing the Ironman for them. I wasn't doing it to be a hero and set a fast time. I was just doing the Ironman because I wanted to finish it, and I knew that I could. So I set off on the marathon, and I can tell you now, to this very day, the only thing that got me through that marathon was the fact that I trained alone. all the way through my training process. And I'd become so mentally tough that I was able to overcome all of the barriers every kilometer in that run. And I ended up doing that Ironman, and it's a long distance Ironman. I ended up doing that long distance Ironman in just over 13 hours, which is a pretty respectable time with a broken bone in your foot. So yeah, that was perhaps the biggest lesson I got from training alone, and just how important it is. So there you go, there's some tips today on why I think you should run alone. And if you do run alone, let me know in your comments. If you run with other people, also let me know why you do that and what are the benefits you think of that are. I'm interested to learn and to know from other people. So drop your comments, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel by hitting the little bell notification, the subscribe button. And I'll be dropping a video every day about my 365-day running journey. Also on my channel I have videos about analysis and opinions that I do on other sporting events that are happening around the world, so check those out, you might like some of those. And I'm going to go off and enjoy my Friday now, day 19 of my 365-day challenge, and I'll be back again tomorrow. Wish you all a very good day no matter where you are in the world, and I'll see you again soon.